partner in South Africa is the Department of Social Responsibility of the Diocese of Grahamstown. We've been involved with the Diocese of Grahamstown since 1999, so quite a long period of time. The main work we do there now is related to cultural change around gender-based violence, which is at endemic levels in the communities where we're working.
The justice system is not working properly as it's supposed to be, because the cases are delayed, and then the victims are scared, and then through that delayed cases they become discouraged, and then sometimes they don't appear to court, and then those cases are not sentenced. Through the work that we are doing, we have learned that there are things that we were not aware of.
We worked with a number of groups in issues of adherence, in a number of issues, HIV-related issues, and with a number of CBOs, that's community-based organizations. And gradually the leaders came to us and said, but this thing, there's a serious gap here. We are just faced with incredible incidences of rape. And when that came to a surface, there was particularly alarming incidents of rape. And so the leadership got together in a number of dialogues and started to see what could be done, and that's where someone suggested, but they're safe houses, and that's where the suggestion came, but no, we actually need to look at safe people. Safe persons are highly competent, trained people who are elected through the community structures and then trained by DSR. So they have quite an important role, and in a village you will find at least one safe person and one shadow safe person, and normally we train those within the context of the citizens committee, so that the whole village gradually starts to work towards operating in greater justice and greater safety.
One of the strategies that our partner uses is to work with traditional leadership structures, for example village chiefs and village elders, and also police and judiciary and other law enforcement authorities, to try and bring about sustained change in relation to attitudes towards women. So part of the program is about accompaniment, so that when the rights of women are violated, there can be a serious form of redress, which is often not the case. But more importantly is the preventative side of the work, where we actually work closely with village chiefs and village elders to try and bring about a more sympathetic and an appropriate human rights focus on the rights of women.
We were trained and empowered that we've got power within ourselves, and there are powers around ourselves, there are powers on top of ourselves, but this inner power has got it all that we can conquer.
The community response is their program. When we're talking about safe persons and safe villages, these people are leaders in their own right within the communities. The communities have elected them. The citizens committees within the communities are part of the program. The traditional leaders are involved in this program, so they're not responding to a program that's coming from the outside. They are participants and stakeholders in the program, and they are also, as much as we as DSR are molding the program, but they are also molding it.
In working with communities in the Eastern Cape region, DSR has also come across the very obvious issues of food security, especially for vulnerable people. One of the strategies in dealing with that is to encourage permaculture. And permaculture is basically all about agriculture using materials that are available. So it will involve a lot of recycling, complementary planting, and appropriate crop selection. And these aren't necessarily rocket science, but they can make a huge difference. So the idea behind the permaculture is to have a couple of visible model permaculture gardens that will be seen by the community, and to then encourage householders to establish their own gardens using the techniques that are on display in the model garden.
The whole program grew from a very simple base to what you saw today, which is a very complex structure, but a community structure in rural areas that is almost like a model that could be used in other places, because it's involving everyone, and it's everyone is participating at different levels. So it grew just very organically. Yeah.
People are much more really interested in this permaculture thing. They've learned a lot, and it's also attracting a lot of kids. For now, I'm happy, but I'll be totally happy if I can see that this whole village become green with the permaculture, because this is the area where most of the people depend on social grants. We want to change that dependency of people waiting for government with food parcels. They must do something for their own situations.
It is really good to be able to get out into the field and see programs in real life that otherwise exist in the abstract as a design document or in reports that come across your desk. One of the great things about the trip to Mozambique and South Africa as well was to see firsthand a really good quality work that's being done, that is locally owned and led, and that is adopting really appropriate strategies for the particular contexts. It gives me as a CEO enormous confidence to be able to see that for myself, and not just to read about it in the reports that I receive. And I know for our board members who have serious responsibilities as governors of the organisation, to have that opportunity to be present in the field and to see the work not in its abstract form but in its real life has been enormously helpful.